medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them, whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury. San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com. Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, August 11th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Micklin, and thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, 103.3 FM over the air in Durango, Colorado, and streaming everywhere, of course, from our website, ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers. This is a visual radio program. We are streaming video live to the KSJE YouTube channel and Facebook page this morning. So thank you for joining us, everyone. Coming up in the next few moments, Jamie Church is here from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. Always something going on with the Chamber and some good advice for local businesses and much, much more. I'll be speaking with her in the next few minutes right here on KSJE, so stay right where you are. Later on this hour, we'll be talking with Amber Francisco over at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. Amber will be talking about some of the animals who are available for adoption this week, including Stormy. That's the dog you see on the screen right there. So stay tuned for that today at 8:50 a.m. And then Mick Hess will take us roving with the arts after the news at 9. Mick is playing selections from Bach this morning, including some of his violin and harpsichord sonatas coming up this morning on Roving with the Arts. Don't forget, you can also connect with KSJE on Twitter and on Instagram. And let's check the weather forecast. It's going to be mostly sunny skies today and tomorrow. Chamber of Commerce weather, 93 for high in Farmington, 94 tomorrow, overnight lows in the upper 50s. Maybe a chance of a scattered shower popping up on Thursday with a high of 94. Partly sunny skies on Friday with a high of 95 degrees and sunny and 96 for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Well, let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce. Jamie Church is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming in. Good
Thanks.
to see you.
Yes.
We are sitting.
Well.
We were distancing.
We are very much distancing.
We are.
Yes, we are.
Thanks for coming to the studio.
Thank you. I like to come to the studio and do this live. I think it's fun.
It is fun to have you
It
here.
is
So
fun.
it's great. And sometimes you're the only face I see.
I know.
Here, so I appreciate that.
I know. The
Not
only
through a
real
Zoom
face.
screen. That's right.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're the real person, not the virtual person.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, the Chamber is still supporting local businesses.
Oh, absolutely.
And
More
doing a
than
lot of
ever.
great things during this time. It's a weird year.
It is a weird year.
But you are figuring out ways to support your businesses, and I think shout out to the businesses who are really thinking outside the box to keep their doors open, be safe, and welcome their customers, whether you're a
Right.
restaurant or whomever, right?
There is a lot going on, and let's kind of talk about a lot of pieces of that. So the first thing is the mask issue. I'm not going to call it an issue, but the mask requirement. And so businesses are requiring masks to go into their establishments. And so we, as the customers, need to be prepared for that. So we should always have a mask with us, whether it's in our purse or our car. And these businesses, this is something that they're required to do. So I know there's been controversy about it, and I know there's debate over whether they work or not, but I think the message is this is what we have to do to open our businesses again.
Right.
We all want to see our businesses open. We all want to go back into restaurants and eat in the dining rooms and things. The masks are a step towards that. And so if you can't wear a mask because of health reasons or whatever other reason, then still support the businesses by getting to go or curbside or delivery to your home. So try to still support those businesses. But if you are going to be going in, just try to mask up and help those businesses. And many of them now have gotten calls or maybe complaints. And so they are really starting to enforce these mask rules. And it's not that anybody's trying to to discriminate or make things difficult for anybody, but they just want to be able to stay in business. And
Right.
so as the chamber director, I feel that's a message that I need to be getting out there. And I myself personally, probably in my purse, if I dug around in there, I probably have at least 5 in there and probably 3 more in my car. And so every time I go in anywhere, I put the mask on because I don't want to see a business get in trouble or get fined because I didn't want to wear a mask.
Right.
So
I think that's good advice.
The message.
And can I just say, too, I think however you feel about the masks,
Right.
anybody listening to us this morning or watching us this morning, don't take it out on the poor person who has to
Right.
enforce that at the door.
Right,
It's
right,
not
right.
maybe their thoughts either, but they are
Right.
following the rules of their
Right.
job, and they're just
That's
trying to
right.
keep their job. So
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think just,
Being
respect them and
patient.
respect each other, and you can go in and get out, get your stuff and get out and be on
Right.
your way.
And there's some positives to wearing a mask. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
if you have something in your teeth, nobody's going to know.
There you go.
Number
I like it.
2, if you forgot to brush your teeth,
See?
or if you have really bad breath,
There you go.
nobody's gonna
Well, okay.
So there are some
Positives. I'm glad you brought that up.
You only have to, if you're a woman, you only have to put your eye makeup on. You don't have to worry about the rest.
See?
So that saves you time in the morning.
Right.
So just try and make light of something.
Yeah.
But seriously, there are,
Right.
we do have to sometimes laugh at things because it has been a crazy year since
really
March
has.
for all of us. So, let's try to laugh
I
when
agree.
we can.
I agree. But treating
With love.
each other with respect,
Yes.
that's a great
Yes.
rule of thumb as well. So there you go. Jamie Church is my guest this morning, and we are talking about the Farmington Chamber of Commerce and some of the other events that are going on. There is an event tomorrow
Yes,
that I
yes.
want to ask you about. It's going to be, as most things are this year, virtual.
Yes.
Online on Facebook,
That's
Facebook
right.
Live.
And we are really trying to do a series of topics as Facebook Live events.
Okay.
And we did one a couple weeks ago on using social media to market your business. And we had Sheila Mobley with the Details Boutique and Ashley Ritter with the Dyed Poppy Boutique. And they both have done an excellent job through COVID of using social media. In fact, both of them have seen huge increases in their business by
How about
using
that?
Facebook Live
Yeah.
and social media. So we did a really, so that was our first one, and so that went great. And then the one that we're having tomorrow night is on traveling safely during COVID-19. So our guests for that will be Addie Betancourt, and she's the Director of Sales with the Home 2 Suites by Hilton property here in Farmington,
Right.
and also Tanya Stinson, of course, with the Convention and Visitors Bureau. And so this will be a Facebook Live event, so you do have to like the chamber, and then you'll get a notification that the chamber is going live, and you can tune in. And because it's Facebook Live, you can comment and ask questions if you have questions. But as all Facebook Live events are, they are there forever, so we'll keep sharing it, even if you can't tune into the live. And I want to just talk a little bit about what this is about, because I've had a few comments on Facebook where people are saying, well, we're not supposed to be traveling, and we shouldn't travel. Let's be realistic. There are some things that come up in our lives that require travel. For example, there are parents right now getting their kids in schools.
Right.
Some states, colleges are open for online classes, even here in New Mexico and at Fort Lewis College, just over in Colorado. Some kids are going to school in other states, and sometimes these states are far away. And if you've got a freshman or sophomore as a parent, you know you're going to take them to their first year of college. That requires travel. You're
Right.
going to be packing up all their stuff, everything for their dorm, all their laptops and everything. So you are going to be traveling. So family emergencies, something that comes up with a child in another state, an adult child, or even if there's, if you have part-time custody, you have a child in another state. Sometimes things just require travel. Some of that travel could be within the state, which you can still travel within the state of New Mexico.
True.
And so, in
And it's
fact,
8 hours from
yes. And so, sometimes in the midst of all the COVID, what's going on and the stress of jobs in this situation, even a little day trip within our own state is a wonderful getaway to just mentally regroup. And I think the mental part of this is just as important as the physical part, the mental breaks we need to take. So having said that, that's why we're doing this. And so we are going to be talking about safe travel, what you should have in your car, what you should be prepared for at rest stops, what you should look for in a hotel. So Addie Betancourt, she will be very helpful with what hotels are doing to keep hotel rooms safe and clean. And then Tanya will be talking about it's the New Mexico, I knew I was going to get the words wrong on this, but it's the safety certification. Safety certification that the New Mexico TRU is doing for the hospitality industry.
Right.
Free trainings that you can take and get some certifications for the hospitality within New Mexico.
I see.
Hotels, and I knew I was going to get the name wrong. So, so Tanya's going to be talking about that within what the hospitality industry is doing within our own state to make sure that the businesses know what they can do so that people feel comfortable going into hotels and restaurants. And so just for example, my son recently had to fly to Oregon, and he followed, just knowing what are the airports expecting right now. Well, get there early. You still have to go through security. You do have to wear a mask, and you have to wear a mask the entire time you're on the flight. What surprised both myself and my son was that on the airport, everybody is sitting right next to each other. They didn't rope off every other seat. They didn't rope off every other, every row.
Sure.
And so you are right in a plane, just like pre-COVID time, but you need to know you're going to be wearing a mask the entire flight. And so you want to make sure that you're prepared for that. If you have a selection of masks like I do, make sure it's your most comfortable one, because you could be wearing it potentially 5, 6, 7 hours. But you also need to know that you will be on the airplane sitting right next to somebody. So that is surprising. So if you are flying, and again, I'm not talking about intentionally flying out of the state and then coming back in. We all know there's quarantine rules on that.
Right.
But it's just be prepared and know if you're traveling that rest stops may be closed. Some of them are closed. Or restrooms, gas stations are requiring masks. So you need to be prepared that you will have to wear a mask to go in. You'll have to socially distance if you're standing in line to purchase something at the counter. And you will have to stand in line perhaps to use the restroom. Also, many restaurants, restrooms, stores are now asking for either exact change for items or to use a debit or a credit card, because there is a national coin shortage going on, which I don't really know anything about other than, you need to know that. So always be prepared for that so that you're not surprised. Keep hand sanitizer in your car. These things are things we should know, but when you're traveling and you're out perhaps thinking, well, I'm hitting the road and getting away, you still need to be taking these precautions. And so that's what this is about tomorrow night, is if you're going to be traveling for whatever reason, whether it's out of the state, within the state, know what the rules are, and then also coming back into the state that there is a quarantine right now.
Right.
So
it's good advice.
Right. Exactly.
Very good. So, and this is the New Mexico Safe Certified program.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
The CVB is working on.
Thank you very much. New Mexico Safe Certified. I apologize.
That's
Sometimes there's a lot of things I'm trying to
But that's
remember.
what a lot of hospitality businesses are following.
Yes.
In this time.
Yes.
As people are traveling around, as you described. So there we go. So this is going to be covering some of that tomorrow.
Right. This isn't just, we really are talking about, we know that business travel and things like that should, for the most part, probably still be done virtually. And most businesses and companies have restricted all travel, and they are doing everything by Zoom and virtually. But again, there are those situations that arise that do require that you either have to drive or fly.
Right.
And so,
well, and as you mentioned, we heard about some of those from the governor just last week in her latest update.
Right.
Was kind of trying to maybe ease some of those quarantine restrictions if you're going out of a state for maybe health care.
Yes, if you're going traveling for medical care.
Some of these other things.
Right.
So.
But again, you just want to know kind of what we all want to be safe. And so let's, just be prepared as you would on any road trip or, know. So this isn't just like, hey, let's all hit the road and go have fun and not pay any attention, because we've had, but there are reasons that we need to travel. And just like this woman in the photos holding a map, we kind of need a road map for traveling and how to live right now during these COVID times. And this is just one piece that might be helpful. So,
Very true. So it's tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
Yes, tomorrow at 4.
And the Farmington Chamber of
Tune in
Commerce
live.
Facebook page.
Yes.
And it's a free event because
Yes.
it's Facebook.
Yes. If you've never tuned into a Facebook Live event, it's easy. Just
Yeah.
like the Chamber. But if you don't like the Chamber page, you won't get the notification we're going live. So, and we are doing this in partnership, too, with help with San Juan Safe Communities Initiative, and they help us a lot with filming these so that they're, good quality and things like that. So I want to give a shout out to them as well.
That's true.
Right.
Very good.
It's not just me on my cell phone.
It's not.
Doing a selfie live.
But that could be fun too.
That could be fun, too.
That's right. Exactly. Or you could be in a radio studio with 4 video cameras.
I know.
looking
Well,
at
now
you with all of this.
Maybe I should come do a live here with you sometime.
Love to
and
have
you
you
can
do
help
it.
me do that.
Yeah,
Because we're
we-
going to be doing a series of
Sure.
these. So.
Let us know.
Yep, will do.
Glad to help. The other thing I want to ask you about that you actually sent this out to some of your members.
Yes.
Not some, all.
Yes.
Of your members yesterday about what does a business do if they
Yes.
have an employee who tests positive
Right.
for COVID-19 and the state has some policies in place.
This actually came out like Thursday or Friday of last week, and it came out quickly. And a lot of people, businesses, chambers throughout the state were not prepared for it. We didn't know it was going to be coming out. And so overview is if you're a business, an employer, and you have an employee who comes in and says they tested positive, you are required by OSHA now to report that to the Department of Health or to the Department of Health or OSHA within 4 hours of being notified by that employee. So now that is now a requirement. And the reason we wanted to get this out so much through the chamber is we want to make sure all of our business owners know this and they can contact, I think you've got some contact information up there on the
We do.
screen.
It's the New Mexico Environment Department, which is
Right.
the state branch kind of of the
Right.
federal OSHA group.
Right.
And so they've got an email address on the screen,
Right.
but if you're listening on the radio, I can read it off to you real quick. It's
Sure.
nmenv-osha at state.nm.us.
Yes.
And they also have a phone number and also a fax number, Go State, if you want to fax in your number.
Do people still
your
fax?
info. I guess they're ready for anything, which is good.
Okay, I guess so.
But the phone number is 505-476-8700. And so, but that is the way to report those within those
Yes.
4 hours, which is a really short
Right.
window.
Now, that's assuming you know your employee. Now, I was on a Zoom meeting about this yesterday. Not every employee is going to come in to you as an employer because, let's face it, if they have been off of work for a while and they're just getting back to work and getting things, they may be hesitant to tell you because they know they're going to have to probably quarantine. So so if an employee tells you, you are then required.
That's the
but
4 hours.
obviously
That's when that starts.
in that 4 hours. Now, if your employee went to be tested somewhere, it's already been reported to the Department of Health, but there's going to be a lag time there. So they go in for their test. It could be 24, 48, 72 hours before they get the results of their test. Then it's reported to the Department of Health. Then the Department of Health will contact you as an employer. But we're talking probably several day lag time there.
Right.
So what the Department of Health is trying to do is just to see, they want to know positive cases as soon as they possibly can, and they will then contact, you as the employer are supposed to report this, and then they will do what they call their rapid response, which is they will contact you from the Environment Department. They're going to want to know every person that employee worked with, had contact with, so that they can then require that those employees get tested. There is no cost to the employees for being tested. It's either going to be billed to their insurance or they're going to be able to have a free test if they don't have insurance.
Right.
Now, there is a cost to the employer down the road for the insurance. So I don't want to say this is all free. Somebody's paying for all this at some point.
Sure.
None of this just is free from, falling from the sky. At some point, there are costs somewhere. But to your employees that now might have to get tested because they worked a shift with this person who just came in and said they were positive, they don't need to worry that, oh, great, now I'm going to have to get tested. They perhaps, though, will have to quarantine and isolate. And if you are a small business with 4 employees and everybody's working together, chances are everybody's going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks. Why this is important is if you have been maybe hesitant about putting in as many COVID-safe practices as possible, this is a good reason to do it, because if you are contacted by the environmental department or rapid response, you can say, we require everybody to have a temperature check, and here's our chart, here's our data on everybody's temperature checks. Everybody wears a mask. We enforce hand washing. We disinfect every day. If you can kind of show all those steps you've already done, that is going to hopefully make all this much easier.
Right.
And I'm sharing this information because this is important, and this isn't something that they're going to maybe enforce or maybe not. They are going to, and there are fines that could potentially be assessed if you aren't kind of cooperating. I just want to get the information out there.
Sure.
Just so our business owners are aware.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, even with the mask guidance, this is another step into hopefully reopening in more cases and more businesses and all these different things. If we can get this reporting down and get on top of this, it's all part of this contact tracing to try to figure out where the spread is and stop it and quarantine these folks so it doesn't get even larger and we see larger numbers of cases here.
I can understand that this could be controversial. This could definitely seem punitive, or one more thing business owners have to think about, and I can completely understand that viewpoint. But again, my role here is just to make sure that all these businesses are getting the information that they need so that they're not caught unaware by this.
Right.
And so, for example, with the chamber, having read all this and been on this Zoom call yesterday, it does make me think that probably continuing to modify our work hours and have everybody work from home as much as possible is a very good way to continue. I understand not every business can operate that way, and we are so excited our businesses are opening again, but we want to be able to keep them open. Again, we want to be able to keep them open, and it would be just devastating if a small business has this all happen and then they have to close down. One of the requirements is that they would have to probably close maybe 24 to 48 hours and do a complete disinfecting of their business. So there are several companies in town, several of them are chamber members, that do exactly this. They come in, they do a complete disinfecting process that is within the EPA guidelines of what you need to do. So just have that information, but be doing a good cleaning yourself. Just follow. There's great information on the Department of Health website and about what you can be doing for your business every day as you close down to clean and disinfect. And I know this is just a lot and it's one more thing, and I get that because I read my emails every day and I see these things come across and I'm like, oh goodness, what now? So I do sympathize, but I want to make sure the information is getting out there.
Right. Right. But it sounds to me, too, is that some of these things are similar, and I've never been a business owner, so I can only assume, and correct me if I'm wrong, but, it's the same thing if you had a workman's comp case. You would have to report that to OSHA and to the state, and so a lot of this stuff is just kind of similar to what would happen if someone got hurt
or
at
if
your
you
place
had
of
another
business.
Particular thing that came up in your business, whether it was a restaurant and maybe there was something else that came up that was... could be a foodborne illness or something like that. You would have to report that. So this is, again, I think it's just people haven't maybe been thinking that in terms of COVID. And again, it's just if an employee comes in and says, I tested positive.
Right. You
need to report it. Obviously, if they don't tell you anything, you
That's true.
don't know. Now, you will get notified by the Department of Health. As soon as the Department of Health knows so-and-so person tested positive and they work for you, they're going to contact you and say you have an employee tested positive. You have to make sure they don't come to work and things. So that's a whole other set of processes that will happen. But we just want to make sure that people know about this. They go check out the website. We sent out an email yesterday to all of our chamber members. Again, it's a great reason to be a chamber member, because if you're not a chamber member, I can't send you these things.
Right.
But just more information that you need to know.
There you go. And I'm looking at this list that you sent from the New Mexico Environment Department, and initially it looks like they don't want the employee's name. They want your business's name and some of that, but they really don't want the employee's name at that point. They just want you to report that you had it positive. And they'll take it from there.
Yes, right,
so
exactly.
I think that's important for folks are concerned about privacy and all those things, so that's important too.
Privacy and what I shared yesterday is good information, but also a lot of FAQ questions about this. So if you aren't a chamber member and you're listening and you want to know more, just call us at the chamber. I'm happy to send you all this information, even if you're not a chamber member.
Okay.
I want you to be a chamber member, but if
Right.
you're not, that's okay. You're still a business here in our community, and we want to see you succeed, and we want to see you be open beyond COVID. So just call us at the chamber, and I'd be happy to email this to you or give you links. And obviously, Scott, you have them up there, and you'll have them on KSJE too. So
Exactly.
the information is there.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. But as we've said numerous times, we are all in this together.
We
so
are.
chamber members are not.
Right.
you know?
Exactly. We are.
So
Yes,
yes. There you go. But speaking of which, but there are a lot of good reasons to join the chamber. We're
Yes.
a chamber member. We're
Yes.
proud to be a chamber member,
Yeah.
and so you've got a couple of events coming up
do.
that we can talk about that
Virtual
are going to be
events.
virtual, right?
Yes.
And so talk to me about some of
I
those
will.
that you're planning.
So I want to keep talking about Back to Business Bingo. So we've now had
Right.
2 Back to Business Bingo playing cards come out, and we have a third one coming out probably this afternoon. And what that is just a fun way for you to go visit and support these businesses and chamber members. So we put together a card. It has 9 squares on it. Each square has a different chamber member. You just go in with your card, visit a chamber member, and they sign the card that you were in. We do hope if it's a restaurant, you'll get something to eat.
Right.
We hope if it is advertising ideas that you will go in and they have a free little gift for you, and you'll take a look around and see, oh, wow, I didn't know advertising ideas had all these things. And we hope if you go visit, the frozen yogurt place, that you'll actually get a frozen yogurt. We are trying to support our businesses, but it's not required. So you go in with your business card or the bingo card, and they sign it. You complete the card, bring it back to the chamber. At the end of the summer, probably like mid-September, we'll be drawing all these cards out, and we have some great prizes. I'm not kidding. We have
Nice.
diamond earrings that were donated from
Hey.
Garcia and Company Jewelers. We have 5 cash gift cards that were donated by the Manchesters, the Farmer Insurance, the Manchester agency. We have a great gift basket from Wall Art. We have a gift certificate from the Bake Shop and Artifacts. And all you have to do is go get these cards filled out and bring them back to us. So this week we're switching all the squares out, but you can keep playing all of the past cards. So
They don't
if
expire
you're-
till the end of summer.
No,
really.
you just keep filling them out and bringing
Yeah.
them in. So the last card had Red Rocks Roadhouse on it, and Ice Age Frozen Yogurt, the new frozen yogurt place, and J.A. Jewelers, and advertising ideas, all great places. And so you just go in. If you go to J.A. Jewelers, you get a free ring cleaning while you get your card signed.
Hey.
And so then you just get those cards filled out and get them back to us. So we're going to be doing that throughout the summer. And again, it's just a way to support our businesses and let people know who's open. Restaurants are open. They are. If you've driven around town, you have seen how many restaurants have put up canopies, tents, fencing to try to continue to have some kind of a dining experience at their restaurant.
Sure.
They're trying really hard, so
Right.
we need to try to support that too.
That's true. But
Exactly.
they've always been open for, well, at least since for takeout
They
for
have
a
been.
long time.
Yes,
And
it's
so
just
that
the
continues.
Right. It's just the in-dining experience that you might be used to right now temporarily, but restaurants are open. So,
Right.
so anyway, then the other things we have coming up are, again, virtual events. No dates on these yet, but they're in the works. One is a speed networking event. We typically did speed networking, and we'd have 50 people all in a room, and they'd all be sitting right across from each other. And,
Can't do
you know,
that.
that's not going to happen.
No,
but there is a way to do it.
you
Zoom.
can do it.
Zoom. So this will be a speed networking Zoom event. And to make it so it's not completely chaotic, we'll probably limit it to 30 to 40 people. So you'll get 30 to 45 seconds to talk about what you do. This is an excellent opportunity to practice your elevator speech, because you need to say what you do and what you're doing during COVID and what kind of clients you're looking for. So we'll be doing that probably late September, maybe early October. And then last year we had our first ever Professional Women's Summit. The event
Right.
sold out. It was a fantastic event. We're doing it again this year. It will be a Facebook Live event. We're working right now on our keynote speaker, so I can't announce that. But we're going to have some great topics, and it will be a Facebook Live event, but it will be a little different. You're going to have to register. It'll be a private group. You'll have to register. There will be a cost, and we'll let you know what that will be. And then you'll be put into this private Facebook group, and then you'll be able to tune in live, so ask questions and do it right from your office. So
Nice.
we're asking people who are going to register for this, really take this as professional development time. Close your office door, turn off your phone, really focus in on this live event and not be trying to multitask and do 50 other things, which we know we can do with these virtual meetings, but really focus in on this. We're going to be sending out PowerPoints and information afterwards, so you have things that you can keep and hopefully use throughout the year. So that'll be in November. We're looking at November 5th is the date for that, but we're working on, as I mentioned, the speakers, and it won't be an all-day event with food, which, darn it, like last time we had awesome food from Artifacts, the bake shop and the chili pod, but it will be, I think you'll get a lot out of it, and it'll take about an hour and a half of your time out of your workday to work on that professional development.
Nice.
So, and I think one of the topics we're going to have is on homeschooling and that balance, and I think I'll be the speaker on that. But
because you've done that. You've walked the walk and talked the talk.
I homeschooled all of my kids from preschool all the way up until they went to college. Long before it was so popular.
Right,
and there
you
were
were
all these
doing it
online
before
options.
it was
Back
such
in
a-
the old days when we actually had textbooks instead of laptops. But
Right.
so I'm going to be talking about that, and it's one more thing that families, working families, moms are now balancing in. I mean, we talked
everything
about
else.
work-life balance last year, and that was before people were homeschooling and trying to do a hybrid model and work all that out. So we'll be talking. That'll be one of our topics. But more to come on that. And you do not have to be a chamber member to register for that, but you're going to find out more about it if you are a chamber member, just because it'll be on our Facebook page and things like that. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Very good. And you're thinking that's going to be sometime in
November 5th.
November. Okay.
Right,
So
November
plenty
5th.
of time for folks to
Yes.
get ready.
Oh, yeah.
For
And so those are just a couple things. And then we are working on chili in October, and we'll be sharing that
a little different.
coming up in September.
It's going to be a little different this year.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because we're
It's always fun.
Yeah, things are different, but they can still be great.
Of course.
They're just going to be different.
There
So,
you go.
Yep.
Okay. Stay tuned, everybody. That's what we say here in the radio business. So
Yeah, stay tuned.
there you are. Jamie, thanks for coming in
Thank
this morning.
you.
We are
Thanks
out of
so
time.
much. Oh,
So
gosh, we are.
we are, and you've got to go to your next thing.
I know. I have another thing.
She's
So
busy today. So there you are, everybody. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Always
Thanks
great to
so
see
much.
you. You bet. It's Jamie Church from the Farmington Chamber of Commerce, my guest here on KSJE. I'll be back with more in just a moment, everybody. The time is 8:40.
Innovating for disability because you have to. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Kimberly Adams in for Molly Wood.
Marketplace Tech is supported by Home Advisor, helping homeowners find the right pros for their home projects. Homeowners can now see upfront pricing, book appointments, and pay for over 100 projects with the Home Advisor app. And by Affilius, offering .info web addresses. Sites such as Worldometer use the .info domain to provide updated COVID data and facts. .info domains are available at GoDaddy.info.
This week, we're using the 30th anniversary